Anyway, this is the Charles River. It gets a lot bigger as it gets towards the ocean. Across the river in those reeds, I knew somebody who actually lived there in a tent. I don't know why I pulled you out away from me. Alright. People fish down here. We're going to stay along the river and not go into the woods, which is where the things that you wouldn't be able to look at sometimes happen. Quite a few cars out here in this little parking lot, which is, well, damn. One, two, three. That's right. They'll probably all run away when they see this camera. The people in the cars are very likely cruising. That's kind of what this park's known for. I'm always about to get run over by a bike. So we're going to walk back by the river. It's not everybody. But it's nice to come out here because there's, in the spring especially, not this time of year, there are people out rowing on the river because this is part of the, further down is the head of the Charles Regatta, but they practice up through here and they'll go all up through. You'll see all kinds of boats and ducks, but now it's winter so you don't see shit. Except a guy and his dog. So we're just going to walk down this path by the river. Oh, there's a couple ducks. I don't know if you can see them. They're kind of far away. Hello. Friendly little fella. So yeah, it's just a nice little path that runs along the park in the city, or runs along the river. I really can't talk. So it's 10:35 in the morning, and it's the time of year that it's very long shadows. The sun doesn't get up very high because we're, mid-January. So we'll stop at this little spot and look out at the river. Because it's we're kind of close. The river's up because it's been very wet. But we're close to the ocean, so I don't know that it ever floods up here. I mean, I'm sure it would, like in a hurricane or whatnot. And then you can see there's little paths like this one that lead off to the right into the woods, which normally would be very green and you wouldn't be able to see very far. If you get my drift. Ooh, that's muddy. Hopefully I can get around it with the help of my handy dandy walking stick. Well, I knew it might be muddy, but it looked pretty good starting out. So you see the tracks from the dog that was here just now, or another dog, I don't know. So yeah, I guess you would say this is the G-rated part of the trail. Another little look at the river. And some ducks. And the trail we came down. Trail going into the woods. And another trail going into the woods. They're everywhere. In the spring, they grow up though so fast that you can't see them. And I just like to come down here because it's like a little oasis of country in the woods when you're somebody who's from rural Indiana. You know, a place where you can go and forget you're in the city for a minute. Another trail heading off into the woods. It's kind of like it looks different when it's bare, as far as like even realizing where you're at or whatnot. Plus I haven't been out here in a long time, but I thought this would be fun, and this is the only time I can do it when nobody's gonna be out here when it's 40 degrees doing things that they shouldn't be doing. There's a squirrel. I'm actually trying to make sure that I avoid humans. There's a couple ducks. So it's just a cool little, like, oasis of nature. It's it's a closer version of what going to the ocean gives me. I don't know. Maybe I should try to move to water. Okay, I know where we're at now. And every time you gave a man, and as cold as ice, and you be moved to tell the tale. I hope we live to shout. But yeah, this all grows up with these plants that just, they're very, they grow up in the spring and then in the winter they're gone. And reeds and things like that, and it's really weird how I could come down this trail again in the summer and you'd see the difference, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel when summer gets here. And the mosquitoes get really bad back here because you're right by the river, and when it's rainy and damp. This is a little part of the park that, I don't know, I consider it's kind of like the G-rated area, but not exactly. It's probably the R-rated area. But it depends on how, and there is somebody back there. Oh, Lord. Well, that's why we went this way. And we won't go back through the park. We'll go back on the bike trail. Not the hiking trail. Plus, I figured it would be too muddy back there to even try to show you anything back there, and there's nothing to really look at. Just trails. A very complex network of trails, and then here's the river. Running trail on the other side that's really nice too. It's like a paved trail. Runs all along the river on the other side. See people come out here and walk their dog. Ooh, that's flooded that way. And there's a boathouse right there. If you go a little past that, there's a hotel that I've stayed in once. Or visited a friend, I guess I should say, who was staying there. Kind of taking a shortcut over to this paved path. Because that's part one of our Riverside adventure. That's bizarre. There's somebody back there, and somebody put up some kind of, it looked like it could be plywood, but it's not. Some kind of vinyl, like bed liner or something to block the view. It doesn't work, obviously. I'm glad this is, water has receded some. Another entrance here to the right to the woods. The water drains across this path from this area on the left. More squirrels. I haven't seen any rabbits. They must be hibernating. So, oh man, there's a lot of water. And it does flood all back in here. Yeah. All these are bent to the right, so it looks like water like flowed across here or wind blew them down, but it all goes in one direction, and then there's standing water. Huh, I wonder. Nobody's chasing him. So I don't know what this is supposed to be called, but on Google Maps it's called Charles River Park 1. Go up the hill because it's more. Let's either walk through the parking lot, and I don't feel like doing that. Alright, so now you've seen one little interesting area in Boston that you otherwise might not know about. Stop and do a little 360 so you can see how wooded the area was that we just went past, and then we came back out on the bike path. So when it's all grown up in green, you can't see anything from the street, especially at dusk. What am I saying? And then there's people who just jog by oblivious to people getting their groove on. As always, show a little love and click like. Help me get to 50 subscribers by clicking that subscribe button. It only takes one little click. Go on, you can do it. Oh. I don't really have a playlist playing, but I don't think, but YouTube. Spotify's playing a good stream of music based on the first thing I started with, which was the Pet Shop Boys. And I haven't listened to them in a long time, so. I'm sorry that I can't play what I'm listening to for you, but, you know, copyright and all. I have to watch and make sure I'm not getting run over by a bike. Because I tend to go down the middle of this path, and it's not very wide when a group of runners like this or a bicyclist comes along. But there's some girls out running. See, they're running. There's no bears chasing them. I don't know. My time's busy. Oop. Every time. It's a really bright sun today. Just like I said, low on the horizon, even though it's coming up on midday. Actually, we're probably right around midday for this time of the year. Hey Siri, what time is it? It's 10:50. What's the temperature? she said she couldn't get past weather information because she got the time read back to her as part of the command. AI's got a long way to come when it comes to Siri. So we're back to the intersection. We're gonna go across the bridge and down a back path and back out. I thought about walking through the woods over here, but since I saw people over there, I don't think I will. This is really beautiful to look down the river from here in the spring and summer, but I don't know. I think fall and winter have their own charm. We'll stop and do a turn and look down the river right before we get to this lady, so that we're stopped and out of the way so she can pass us. So we'll stop and look down the river. So on the right is the park there's the path that we